Hi all, Alex here of The Mad Cartographer and of Crucible magazine. As mentioned at the end of the What a Mad Week for our The Mad Cartographer Patreon, I mentioned that some of the delays that we've seen this month has been because I've been otherwise predisposed trying to set up a magazine. And this is where we're at. I'm going to give you a little walkthrough of just kind of how this has come about. But essentially, at the end of August, I contacted TJ from the DM Tool Chest, asking him to do some writing for the Mad Cartographer. I was going to set up a new Patreon called Mad Ventures because it just works so well. And in the course of our discussion and TJ showing that he was keen to start writing something but not necessarily coming on full time, I suggested the idea of us doing a magazine. It's something I've wanted to do for a while. Big fan of a lot of the publications that are out there, and there's a couple. You know, you've got the likes of Broadsword magazine. I'm a big fan of Arcadia by MCDM. You know that I've done some work making maps for Lair magazine for DM Luke. And so kind of with that, I've always had a bit of a hankering to do my own thing, and do it a little bit differently to how these other publications have done it. And so I kind of pitched it to TJ, would he be interested in doing it? And he said yes. And so TJ very quickly came on board as my partner in what is going to be our new business venture. This is not going to be part of the Mad Cartographer. It's going to be its own standalone thing. It's going to be its own Patreon at the in January next year. That's when the Patreon's going to launch. However, the Kickstarter is going to launch in November. So this is kind of where we are currently at, and it is going to be a 64-page PDF and print magazine. Not only that, but it is going to be released as a JSON for Foundry VTT. It is going to be the first 5e magazine for Foundry VTT. And all the content that we put within each issue is going to be pushed into its own monthly module. So it's going to be a monthly magazine. It's going to have, to start with, 4 adventures with maps by the Mad Cartographer, and that is pretty much going to be the only place that you will see our maps from now on in adventures. They will be coming from ourselves. We've kind of dipped our feet in here and there and worked with a few other people, but we're now at a point where we're gonna keep all our maps in-house. And so Crucible is our way of doing that. There's going to be DM content, there's going to be player content, but we're also looking at doing some magazine content. So I'm going to walk you through our sign-in page for our Kickstarter that you can go and sign up to now. It is cruciblemag.com, and I'll put a link in the comments below, and you can head over there and check it out. So we are bringing on some fantastic artists, and this is the mock-up for issue 1. And this we've got this artwork that was done by our good friend Tari. We have this that was done by Martin Kirby Jackson. We have Pavel from Rodok's Tavern that has done a lot of the inline stuff. We also have a fantastic artist called Sin Lair that is doing some stuff at the moment that is going to be going into the magazine as well. So we have some amazing commissioned artists on here. And that's it. So we're not going to be using any stock art. It's all going to be commissioned artwork. We're going to have all the adventures, all the DM content that you would expect from this kind of publication. And then we have some extra stuff. So we've got a 4-page comic that is going to be going into every issue by Tony from Dire Quest. He's going to be on board as our almost full-time comic artist. We're going to be keeping him busy, and he is excited to be involved in this as we are to have him on board. And this is going to be an ongoing story arc. We've already got it plotted out. We've already pretty much got issue 1 sketched out. We've actually got the majority of the work for issue 1 of the magazine already done. And seeing as though we only started this a month ago, we're doing a lot. So extra stuff, we're going to have Dear Dialords. That's going to be kind of like our own spin on some DM advice coming from some nefarious Dialords that their brand of advice might not be the kind of thing that you generally hear. We're going to be looking at doing interviews. We have got a very, very, very cool interview lined up. Hasn't happened yet, but we're in the scheduling process. So I don't want to reveal too much information on that. We're going to put posters in there. It's going to be a pretty jam-packed magazine. And with the Kickstarter, we just want to add even more to it. Depending on what kind of stretch goals we hit, there's extra stuff that we would love to be able to put in there, and that would mean hiring on additional writers, additional artists, and that kind of thing. Obviously, all the maps are going to be done by myself and Stefan and whoever else we may bring on at any point down the line. And as I said, we have some support from Atropos and the Foundry team. We're kind of like bouncing some ideas around with them. So at the moment, it's all going good. It's just taking up a lot of time to set up contracts and accounts and working out how to make a magazine and manufacturing, and on top of all of that, working out how to do a Kickstarter, because we've never done a Kickstarter. So this is where we're at. You can sign up to this now, and you will be informed when the Kickstarter launches. It is going to be November the 1st. We're pretty sure on that, unless something changes. And you will undoubtedly finding out more about this from our own Patreon anyway. But if you want to make sure that you are there as soon as it starts and able to support us, then head over to cruciblemag.com now and you can enter in your email address. For those that do pledge on the Kickstarter, at any tier, you will get our exclusive Crucible magazine pin. And there's going to be a lot of additional exclusives with this magazine, particularly the first Kickstarter issue. In terms of it turning into a printed magazine, there's going to be quite a few months delay, and that's just due to the manufacturing turnaround. There's not much we can kind of do about that at the moment. We're still working out the ins and outs of it, but the PDF and the JSON will be released every month from January. So we're getting the first issue out in November with the Kickstarter, and the first issue will be free. Everything in it, from the front to the back, every page, all the maps that go with it. You will have an idea of just exactly what it is that we're doing and what exactly every issue is going to be like. Kind of similar to how we do at the Mad Cartographer. Every issue is going to have its own theme. And we are starting with our first issue being Lairs. It seems very fitting. We have Fizzband's Guide to Dragons coming out, so kind of Dragon Lairs. So we have our own spin on our own dragon on the front cover, and one of the 4 adventures, and that is our Dragon Zorn hybrid, a Drazorn. Although we can't use a Zorn because that is not SRD. So yeah, we've got some cool stuff coming in there. So yeah, sign up to the newsletter, and you will be informed when it all gets going, and we will be releasing more information about it as the week and month progress. So there you go. Hope you're as excited about it as we are. I think it's gonna fill something of a gap that is currently in the magazine market. We want this to be geared more towards kind of like old school magazines were, like the original Dragon and the original Dungeon magazine, but then with some more modern takes on it, and our own little brand of editorial as well. So there you go check it out. If you've got any thoughts, then leave them in the comments below as ever, or head over to the Discord. The Discord is going to start changing. It's going to become a bit more of a community environment. So there's going to be different channels for Crucible, there's going to be channels for the Mad Cartographer, and in the near future we're hoping the Mad Astrographer as well, which is going to be our sci-fi Patreon. These are all kind of standalone Patreons at the moment. There's going to be some crossover between the Mad Cartographer and the Mad Astrographer, but we'll get more into that down the line. So there you go. Let us know what you think, and if you are interested, go and sign up to the Kickstarter announcement email now. Thanks for watching. Keep rolling those 20s, and peace.